they don't tell you about. This armament bill that Mr. Bill Clinton put in, they amended that under another bill. And when I told one of the county sheriff deputies about it, where to find the evidence, they don't want to hear that. Because then they're misled. What does the Bible tell you? Even the elected shall be deceived. But what they're going for is a one world order where you don't have rights. And they're not going to take care of you. Think about it this way. If they're not going to take care of the vets and give them this ability to fix them as they gave their word they were going to, and then they broke their word, hey, oh, you can't sue them for breach of contract? Oh, they have a right to lie to you. And one Supreme Court judge says the government has a right to lie, but me and you don't. How does that grab you? In other words, they want us to honor our words and still stand up for them while they break it off and make sure you never have a job again in your life. And oh, so you got to dig out a garbage can. That's your problem. It's not theirs. But you can't sue them. You worked for them. If you worked in the mill or somewhere else or for a corporation, got hurt on the job, they take care of you. Not give you this crap they're doing now and downplaying your illness and sickness. And when you give them the evidence from a private testing lab and from the x-rays you bought and serve it to them, and they refuse to honor their words, go to court and get you your disability, and the DAV thinks it's all a big joke? Well, wait a minute. Why do you think they got this Wounded Warrior Project where they ask you for their donations to take care of vets? Because the government ain't doing it. They're not honoring their words. And they take the hearing loss disability and the other disability, partial here or there. And before you know it, oh, they don't have to pay nothing because there are corporations. Keep in mind, corporations are out to make money, not lose it. And you're supposed to work for free, get hurt for free, because they say it's your nation. Well, hey, if it's your nation, will you show me your bill of sale you have to prove it's your nation? Oh, no, they can't do that. Why? Because they collateralized all the land during the Civil War for the gold from foreign nations. The foreign nations and their bankers own this country. They own and they run the people who run your country. Why do you think it's so screwed up? And you can't sue them because it's the Patriot Act. You can't sue your government for breaking its word. Why? Because it's not your government. You have to sue the whole international banking system for allowing them people in Washington, D.C. that you elect in there to break their word and break their bond. Oh, but we're treating everybody squarely. Keep in mind, the government knows what's good for you. And make sure you never work again a day in your life. n9vjx. Lies, deceit, there's a trickery they pull on a lot of us. Be thankful I can't get my hands on nuclear warheads, especially a dirty one. I'll show them what justice is all about. And that's no joke. I'll show them what justice is about faster than a New York minute or split second. And just as they didn't have any mercy on me, I won't have none on them either. And God will forgive them. Because I sure as hell won't. n9vjx. I'm part of a private or a banking system. It's not our system because we don't back our currency. It's to make us use up our time, our sweat by saying, oh, we're giving you life because we're backing your dollar. I got a better idea. Why don't you just slam the doors to the country and say, hey, if you're going to play this game to make your pockets rich, which our forefathers have done all the way back to Lincoln, and destroy this society, and to take the land without due process and collateralize it, and say, I'm swapping our land for your dollar so I can fight the South for weapons, and it's to be paid in gold and silver and the interest rate, but knowing well that they couldn't do it. Lincoln was a criminal. He should have got. n9vjx. So prior to the Civil War, everybody held what was known as the true title to their land. It was called a fiduciary title or a delegal title. That was the true title depending on the state you lived in. You don't get that no more. you get a title for your, or you get a title for your house, yeah, you may own it, but you can never own the land that it's on. And the federal government and state governments have been committing acts of fraud since the end of the Civil War, when this country went bankrupt. And that was back then. And voted to do this. And they used the Bible against us. In the book of the Old Testament, it tells you you're not to have dominion, meaning ownership, of any man or his property. Period. Because it's not your earth, it's God's earth. And when you start violating your own laws and your own rules to line your own pockets to give you a better living status, and then you get off the gold and silver standard so nobody can own anything, but you still owe on the debt that your forefathers made. All of our forefathers, even right now, have violated what's called the OMB laws at the end of the Civil War. It means they're corresponding numbers with the Constitution that cannot be violated. Our forefathers were not stupid. The old Congress made them sign a contract that they cannot make any law to violate or restrict their constitutional powers. But they put a Supreme Court in which there's no enabling clause in the Constitution for them to have the right to exist. Did it anyway. n9vjx. And years ago they passed laws to go, Mr. Bill Clinton had some executive orders written under the International Disarmament Bill, and then they have an amendment to that. And that's hidden in another bill, which most people don't know about because they don't read. God forbid they ever read. And when you allow these whiz-bangers to turn this country over to the United Nations, suspending constitutional rights, civil rights, and all this other stuff, and due process, when you give them the right to nuke anybody's house, home, and kill their families without, in case of civil unrest or a medical pandemic, which they're going to import either way. And when you get to the point where they're going to make this new world order, oh really? No, the people in Great Britain and the rest of them have been bribing our leaders before the ink was even dry on the Constitution. And they've been violating it all the way down the road. And now, since the Madoffs, the One World Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and a bunch of others got caught with their hands in the cookie jar, and they suspended their debt so they could stay in business and put it on the taxpayers for what them banks did. And they were supposed to be under scrutiny from people who have an oversight committee that's supposed to overlook all bankings. They didn't do their job. That's the problem. Nobody does their job. You're saying to hell with the laws. We'll let them get away with anything. We'll make the people pay for this crap. So you have no rights, no freedom, no nothing. And they're going to turn it all over to the United Nations, which I said back in the 70s we should get out of now. Immediately, if not sooner. Because they're not honoring their debts to us, but we're supposed to honor it to them. And this crap is saying, hey, we the people of Europe are saying, because you exhale carbon monoxide, and your cattle does too, and your animals do too, all people do it, that we're destroying their ozone like they own the atmosphere. Well, why don't we countersue you and tell them to stop your jet stream from coming across and bringing your crap over here, and we won't let our crap go over there. No, they're trying to line their pockets by shoring up their dollar by taking our dollar and saying it's worth less because you owe us. You gotta love this stuff. It's more interesting as time goes by. And of course, you know something. I know you're not going to have equality in this country unless you have financial equality. And as long as one person is jealous of what another person has and finds a way to put words together and say it's the law, I like the word law. It comes from the Lord's word. I'd like to see in any text in any Bible where it says you're supposed to rob your fellow man, give away your country, give away all the assets for fraudulent currency, and make everybody a participant, a willing participant of passing phony currency. because the currency you got now are debtors' notes. And they have nothing behind them because we haven't backed it. Why don't we just cancel all the debt to the world and them to us and simply say, the heck with this nonsense of the elitists of the world and the banking systems destroying our country, our planet, using it as a dumping grounds for their goods and services, and overtaxing the people here on a grassroots level where we cannot start a company, own a company, and manage it, because they'll just keep on putting a tax on the property that you have, so you're not interfering for the currency that's going out that shores up the dollar of other countries while destroying it here. No, that's no good. And of course, 40% of the people who come here are coming here to exploit the country and take from it and send it overseas. Heck, they've caught mules going back across into Mexico that had nothing to do with the drug cartel. What they were doing is they got private groups and organizations that send cash, not going through the banking system and getting an offshore set of what you're getting for dollar for what it's worth in their country, but making it so the money goes out either through the drug cartel or other private organizations to other nations to shore up theirs. And they're passing legislation that they can tax us or bill us and make sure our dollar is going down so we can't compete with other nations, let alone start anything or keep work up in this country. That's all insane. N9vjx.